Blessings and welcome forward to Reasonings right here at the Tree of Life. I'm your host, Jerome Butler. We have brother Ramon Singh. And it's a beautiful, wonderful day out in just this awesome place in Mandeville by the river. Vibe is cool, vibe is airy, and we're just loving it. See, it comes right around. So love is our current offering. We're going to reason a little bit on it. I guess as many layers as we can find to express and see where it goes from here, lovingly. Blessings, brother.
Perfect love.
Perfect love. And a rebel.
Yes, sir.
Blessings.
True. Well, even that little saying, the perfect love, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because we want to, every expression of being to be of perfect love. You see me?
Understood.
Because even Rasta, or even any little, you hear a hippie, you know? You know, say I love. Any little religion, I love are the core thing.
That's the true principle that they're talking about.
Yeah, and then you know, so now God is love.
Yes. The core of the whole holding together of the reality.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I know a lot of people would say love is a feeling, like just by feeling good or feeling satisfied. But we're taking love beyond the idea that it's just a feeling to be expressed between you and someone that you have affections for, or any creature or thing you have affection for. To say that love is the very reason why the circadian happens, the reason why life, so it is the highest vibrating frequency. That means that it is broken down and segmented through the branches of the reality into different aspects and attributes in our lives. So when we say love, love also is outside the ambits of just desire. It is law. Because it creates the understanding or the framework of the understanding of the law of obedience. Now, if we come and find that there's a way in which things are, and then you break that functionality, that is a hurtful and unloving act. A loving act would be to maintain the order of things. So this isn't because there is an affection towards the thing or an affection towards the person who owns the thing. It is because it's an understanding of the law of being, the order in which things are. So a loving nature will not just act lovingly, but will be disciplined unto the understanding of things. Like, you have a disagreement, I might very much be the one that is correct. But love says, will it create the kind of end result we need right now by you knowing and verbalizing the fact that you are correct? And if no is the answer, love says, set your pride aside, let love be. And so you say, it's okay. It doesn't matter who is wrong or right. I don't want to get into a thing that's going to make everybody here feel uncomfortable. Kids stop eating, the women stop smiling. You know, we don't want that. So love wins out in the end. And so that's an expression of love that has nothing to do with an affectionate experience of love. And as such, this is the reality we've come to understand. So love to me is the law of things, the law of cause and effect. And right cause bring right effects, loving cause bring loving effects. Brother, your take on these?
Yeah, man, because the Bible says love is patient. You see me? So if we are practice real love, we are go patient. You see me? Patient with people. People not reach to a level yet. You know? So you're patient with them.
Absolutely.
You see me? You're going to say, Father, I just saw them there and them understanding. So I'm going to go patient with them.
Absolutely.
Go and plant the seed them until them reach.
Yes.
You know? Patience.
Yes.
If you see all the son are going with antics, you know, and you patiently help him and not stress him out, you know, but patiently I know, say, yeah, him soon come around, man.
True.
You know, patience.
True.
Because some people even push for people just because them not be patient.
Yeah, that's generally one of the things that with a loving heart, you do develop that kindness, even if you don't say you have it. But when you look at the concept of what hurtful things do, or hurtful words do, or the aggressive act that comes from impatience, it will teach you by the loving act. This is a way to get a better end result or a better sense of cooperation, you know, how to function better.
True. And even just to wait. Literal patience, you see me?
Oh, yes.
If you even are waiting in a line, you don't say you stand up in the line 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And God has say, have patience same way. You soon get through.
Wow. That's some deep
Because now you
patience.
want, you know?
True.
So why you want to get angry now? You know?
Yes.
A patience, everybody are wait too.
I suffered from that. I'm not going to lie. I had a very impatient spirit because I always think like there's a certain timing. I'm like, well, it should take an average 10 minutes to deal with a customer. Maybe 3 minutes contingency for a little overrun. So I said maybe 15 minutes I allow. And then you're there waiting and you're 25, 30, 40 minutes and you're not yet at the top. I flip out. But I got to admit, there are times when I had to wait.
Yeah.
There were times where I had government checks, had to be cashed at the government's bank, and it was project work. And when you go, the 300 other people that was on the project too, they're getting paid at the same time. They're going to cash their check. So the line is starting outside the bank. So you're saying to yourself, maybe I'll come back tomorrow. But if you go back another day, all the people that said, I'm not going to go today, come back that day also, right? So the line might be a little smaller, but it's going to cost you twice as much money. And if you don't have no money, this day to go pick up your money is the only day you got.
True.
And brother, I had to be patient, even though sometimes my head was about to explode. And what made me get through it was I remember that, just like myself, whether I want to admit it or not, there were 20, 30, maybe 100 people in some worst cases ahead of me. And they was just as in need of whatever it is I was in need of.
Yeah.
And they were just as agitated. But they seemed to be holding it. So I said, why am I being so impatient? So I learned from them.
Yeah,
I learned that just take it easy, take a couple of deep breaths, breathe and stretch, maybe sit in the lotus position if you can. Should be okay. All good loving discipline, I must say.
And then the next thing the Bible says, no, after love is patient, love is kind. You see me? Kindness.
True.
Charity.
True.
Man.
True. That cannot be said enough of. Because I think in a world so disenfranchising, being able to give some form of help to our people, to anybody, is the most important thing. Because it's easy for people to say, I won't share. Because if you go through something, you're probably thinking, I need this money. I need my strength. Why should I want to go and give somebody else strength? But that's part of the calling of love, because you will be strengthened because you in turn have strengthened others, you know?
Yeah.
Especially in their moments too, you know?
So, I want to tell you a story now, because my brother, this thing happened to him where it's like this man in need come to him, you know? Tell him this sad story, how him need him help desperately. And upon him face, he don't know what to do.
Wow.
And my brother say, all right, out of kindness in my heart, he say, all right, I'm going to bless up the money with something. You know, a good portion of money, you probably have 5 grand. You know, imagine you give a beggar 5 grand.
Yeah,
you know?
You'd have given them a good, like 100 or a 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even a 200. And that's a lot of money for a guy just begging you out on the street, right?
The next day, the same beggar come back to the same brother, my same brother.
Yeah.
Tell him the same story.
Yeah, okay.
My brother run, move. I say, what? So from that, him say, him not give no beggar no more money
oh
again.
Oh my God.
So every other beggar come to him, suffer.
Because of that
because of one beggar who lied to him.
Oh my God.
The beggar hungry, you know? Just say your boss me hungry.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
You don't have to go tell a lie.
Oh my God.
And then come back and not even remember say I see a man help you yesterday.
No, I'm not going to remember.
He
Because...
might come back with the same story. He not even switch the story.
Yeah.
Same story, not even remember him help him yesterday.
He's not going to remember. Because you see, the mind like that, he's not going to remember. Wow, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry that happened to your brother.
And I saw now how me find out the story. Me and my brother stand up a reason outside the house. And people are walk past on the sidewalk. And this lady come by and I beg him, beg way. I must say, yeah man, I have $100. I'm give her the 100. And brother say, no man, you don't give nothing. How much you have in your pocket already? What you have there, you know? Look, why there in your bag? You see me? You must say, oh, she fully loaded, you don't need nothing. You see me?
Yeah.
I just your tendencies, love me. I must look for him and say, Johnny, you see me? Oh, you move so to this woman, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know her story for real. She a walking out the hot sun, I ask people for things. I ask for rice, mackerel, anything you can find. She ask for it in her hot sun, I try find food, you see me? She a try find food. You see
Totally
me?
understand, yeah?
So I understand, say, boy, look upon this woman in her hot sun, I try find food in her day, you know? And when my brother said that, I take out the next $100 and give her $200 now. You see me? I say, yo, mommy, Jesus bless you, yeah, man. Jesus bless you.
Oh,
you see me?
You're far back. Love. Love. Listen.
John,
all right. So you take me far back now. This is deep. Okay. So in order to combat what happened to your brother, when that happened to me the first time, to make sure that I didn't get caught up in saying I'm not gonna give, I had to make up my mind. I asked myself, how would you know if the person's telling the truth? I said, well, I would have to investigate and find out. Sorry, people, I'm going to tell you my thought process. Sometimes it's not nice to share these things, but sometimes it is. I said, I would have to go and search to find out. So my spirit said to me, so tell me, Jerome, at the time I was probably like maybe 21, 22. So my spirit said to me, okay, Jerome, so how are you going to search and find out? Tell me if this person's telling the truth in this moment. I said, well, I don't really know how I would find out. So if you're going to give, it has nothing to do with whether you know what they're going through. I said, it would seem so. So maybe you're just selfish and don't want to give. I said, that could be the case. And he says, well, if you're going to give, you're not going to ask why. You give because you give, not because the story's right. You give from the heart. So you give because you're a giving person. So first time that was put to test, maybe 2 or 3 years later, I had this girlfriend, and at the time we were on a spiritual path, me and her. So it wasn't like I was spiritual and she wasn't. We both were. And she always remarked how people reacted to me. So once we were going to Halfway Tree, we were walking from Emancipation Park to Halfway Tree, and I saw this man acting real weird and in pain and suffering, and he's calling out to me, brother, brother. I know, like he knows me, like convincing me like he knows me. So she says, you know him, right? And I says, well, remember the work I tell her that I chose to do? It's like it makes no strangers. So it's the spirit that recognizes the spirit. So it's the spirit that's calling to me. So I have to. So I go, and he says, oh, man, and I give him some money, right? And we go about our business, right? And the next day, we're passing back again. Guess what happened? Him again, doing the same thing again, but this one, but he had a little conscience that your brother's beggar didn't have, so the devil might have been involved in that one right there.
True.
No, the devil might very much have been involved in that one. Because when he recognized that it was me and her, he was halfway into his mantra of asking for help, and then he pulled out. Because he recognized that he already got from us, and we recognized it. But here's what happened now. She thought I was going to be angry. I said, no. He said, but is that the same guy? I was like, yeah, it is the same guy. He said, but how's he? I said, I didn't give him because I believe what he's saying. I gave him because my heart says to give him. And he knows that I know now, so there's no point in that anymore, right? So, and the Spirit is saying to me, tell the whole truth, Jerome. Not because I said, I give just because I give. Just means that I'm just going to give every moment. Okay? I ain't a sucker. Sometimes, I come upon a person, and they say, may I? In my spirit, I say, my spirit says, I don't think so, buddy, ma'am. So then I walk off, and if my spirit feels good, I keep going. But sometimes, there are these times when you would say, I don't think so, and you walk off.
Yeah,
and I feel it. I
man.
feel it.
Yeah.
And I turn back and I go back. So I'm not playing like, oh, I'm perfect. I just give because I'm a giver.
Yeah,
No.
man.
There are moments where the spirit within me is not saying give. But the greater good overpowers that. And I remember, if I have it, give. You know what I mean? If I don't, something else. But if I have it, not a big deal. I don't care what they did.
Because what reached me too, you know. This junk had come to me. I asked me for a thing. I say, what you going to do with the money? He might say, I'm going to buy a little thing. A little juice, you know. I say, what? No, man. You buy more liquor. And he want to buy a frost, a cigarette.
Oh, my.
A cigarette and more liquor.
He buy more comfort, he want to buy.
And that him want. And probably a spliff. I say, no. I say, yo, I don't support this liquor thing and this cigarette thing. I don't support that fire. And I just say, yo, we don't deal with that fire, you see me? So that show him, say, yo, I don't support them bad habit there.
Yes.
I love giving.
Yeah,
but when I see say him use
you
it
draw a line. Yeah.
For badness.
Yeah.
You see me? For harm himself. For a bad habit. Me not gonna help that.
Yeah.
It's like you see a cokehead come to you. Say him want a money to buy coke.
And you're giving.
And you give him.
Yeah.
Just because you're kind. No.
Yeah.
No, support that for
you. Yeah, you have to have standards. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You couldn't just.
Because that's how we show righteousness now.
Yeah.
And righteousness in our we know, and the conscience, and the discernment, you see me? I said, no, man.
Yeah,
no fire. And I saw me sit down and talk to him now and say, oh, fire, I have to stop that, you know. That now help your fire. You see me? Every day I come on the road and beg for cigarette and for liquor. Every day, so. I just that him want, you know, out of life. Come on the road and drink and burn his frost.
That's what has become like a condition for him.
Yeah.
So in a sense like that maybe he's not thinking of the consequences of what he's doing to himself. He's just probably thinking of a feel good.
Yeah,
and probably thinking that he just wants somebody to help him with that feel good. But ultimately you're seeing that feel good is taking responsibility away from him, is kind of disempowering him and making him more susceptible to being hurt, right?
True.
So I don't think that was a bad decision from you. I think that if he'd come being a drinker and said he wanted to buy some food or something to uplift his spirit, you would help him, right? But not to then go back into the behavior that have you looking in that way or sounding or smelling in that way, in that stupor, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So I agree that love is still the most beautiful thing. It doesn't mean that you're so soft-hearted, you have no critical thinking, you have no discernment, and you do not know what choices are. It doesn't mean that you go out there kissing brutal, vicious criminals, but maybe if that can save them from, you know, acting on some acts of violence, put a rose on it. You understand me? Yeah? Put some daisies on that, you know, awful frowning face, right? Maybe a kiss will change the countenance and the whole attitude. So there's still levels to expressing your love, but there is a willingness to just be a loving being, to know that there's so many different belief systems in the world. If you're going to wait for people to satisfy what you think or you act, you're going to run into serious problem, because the moralist code will say, well, this is morally acceptable, this is morally unacceptable. And there are universal things that are morally unacceptable. I think we kind of have an idea what those things are. We don't have to list them. But then there are some things that are transitory that might be a little bit here and a little bit there. You cannot make your argument or your judgments or your reasons to communicate or to connect based upon those. You can't make that be, okay, I don't think the people come from your place, they do this, and people who are like this tend to end up, you know. I don't think that's the way it would be best expressed. That would be something you'd have to look beyond. Look for the things that are more unifying amongst us as people. Look for the things that I can find value from. Yeah, we might be indifferent in just this way, but there are so many other ways that love can be expressed. That I need to understand each other. Yeah, so loving in terms of loving thoughts, right? To know that how you think about each other has something to do with the outcome. Because if we just think about the negative about the so-called others,
Yeah,
who we're said to be invaders, and they bring perilous times and destructive cultures, and we would treat all people from outside in that behavior if that's the way we think. So a loving thought is the willingness to think loving, to think in a more affirmative, positive way, and think the best is possible.
True.
Absolutely, and that, brother. So,
yeah, man, and our next point now, love does not envy. You see me? If you have love in your heart, envy can't come in your mind. You see me? You can't see something what the next one have, and you envy them for it. You see me? It could have been even a wife or a good-looking woman. You see me? And next man have a good-looking woman.
As him says, I see a very nice looking woman to the left. You know?
You see me?
Actually, two.
And other people are envy them for that woman.
Yes.
I say, how this man get a good woman like that? So, you know?
A good-looking
Good-looking woman, you know?
Both.
Either, you know? Envy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
How that man car pretty, so envy.
Yes.
How them house pretty, so envy.
True.
You see me?
True.
How them clothes pretty, so
True.
envy. You know? How him so popular. Envy. You know?
I think I kind of fit into that last category because, you know, sometimes I go places and I see people treat me like, so why are you so popular? Because they're like, sometimes they want to think you're a famous, like really super famous person. They're like, but he's not that famous. So why, you know? Envy. It's just...
True. Yeah, man.
But love makes it no matter what station. It doesn't matter with love what station in life you are. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if you are from the wealthy side or you're from the poorer side. Love really makes you consider the equality and the equanimity of beings. Like, you realize that this is all that there is, and this is you, and this is your experience, and this is your environment. And to take care of this is to take care of that. So when you develop the highest philosophy, the highest wavelength and frequency, you call it love. It teaches you how the being operates, and how the being operates within the environment. And so we develop all of those social aesthetics, you know, the finer, subtle qualities in art as a means of sharing the deeper qualities that maybe sometimes, because of maybe where you are, you might not always be observing the beauty. So others codifying that recognition, bring it to you, you can appreciate it as a poem, as a song. And so that is love. So love has that kindness, you know, that patience, you understand me? That long-suffering, that gentleness of spirit.
Not boasting.
Yes. This is the most important one in these times, right? Not hyping.
Yeah, man.
Because if you're highly successful, most times, you're not gonna think if you're being very, you know, upfront about it or very, you know, verbose about it. You don't think that that's a lack of a loving expression. You're gonna say, I'm just really, you know, talking about myself in a confident manner. But in some sense, it's kind of an unloving way. Because you are saying, because I am this way, I am more, or I deserve more, or my being me, you is no way comparable to. And I think that's not loving.
True.
So boasting, yeah, we should watch out with the boasting. I think it's good to boast in the good virtue, like in Yeshua, in Yahuwah, or in the things that you know are good things, you know? Taking care of your community and, you know, having clean, healthy resources for generations to come. Taking care of the environment and helping the people, you know what I mean? That is something that is healthy and is loving. You know, that is something to brag about. Like, you know, we are part of a 5,000 strong community grouping that is helping to keep our parks clean, our wetlands, and, you know, our beaches clean, our rivers clean. Yeah, that's something I would boast in.
True.
That's a group message I would gladly click my like into. You know?
I guess the essence is, if you're a Christian, a follower of Christ, you shouldn't have no stumbling in terms of the love that you project onto others. You see me?
Absolutely.
That's our ultimate aim.
I agree.
Because we have to say again, no, we're not perfect.
True.
certain times emotions get hold away.
Yeah.
And we say things we shouldn't say. You know? We do things we shouldn't do.
Absolutely.
You know, but if we have in our heart say what Christ would do. You see me?
Exactly.
How righteousness would act right now. You know?
In a scenario like this.
Yeah. Because we have to use the wisdom what the Most High give we, you know.
True.
And act righteously.
True.
All times.
That means so we can think about it. It's not like you think it's an automatic act of goodness or automatic act of love. Because you can question if your act was loving enough. And if it wasn't, or if you can think or deem it not loving enough, you can improve it. You can figure out a way to think about situations more and to make better decisions. If it's so be the case that you made a rash decision that was out of negative thoughts or out of hatred, you can figure out how to, rein it in and direct it towards loving.
True.
You might not get there fully like just by the first act, but it's a direction. You can say, okay, let me do a little bit more of hearing out the person before I fly off at the mouth and say they're talking garbage. Let me hear what they're saying. Maybe what they're saying today isn't what they said yesterday. Maybe the angle that they're coming from with their reasoning tonight wasn't the angle they were coming from last night.
Yeah.
Loving thoughts leading to loving end results,
So one of the key things you say now is hatred. We cannot have no hate in a way at all. The only hate we have in a way is the hatred for evil.
Yeah.
You see me?
That would make sense, right?
We hate evil. Yeah. You see me?
Hate itself.
Yes, I.
Yeah, hate.
But we cannot hate with brother. Cannot hate with sister. Cannot hate with neighbor.
Yes.
You cannot hate your father or mother.
Yes.
You see me?
You can abhor the evil act.
And evil people hate God.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Remember, I think things happen to people
and they
curse and then blame it upon God and hate him, you know?
Yeah. Passionately too.
But sometimes. Hate is something that cannot be in us at all.
Yes.
And remember, say, if you hate somebody, that means them do you something so bad.
Yes.
Or them hurt you so bad. Or them actions make you hate them so bad that unforgiveness is in your heart.
Yeah, that's what's going to fill up your heart. So I'm saying that it would come back to hurt you, the person, more than it would hurt the person you hate.
Yes, sir.
Because, like you say, the unforgiveness in the heart, that alone is going to burden you. Like that conscience issue of being uncomfortable, and it's like if you dislike a person deeply, and you see, like, say, people that you respect, like people you care about, giving love or attention to that person, sometimes it's hard, for people who feel that way to be in the space with somebody they despise and seeing others that they respect showing that person love.
True.
It cuts them up so much inside, and usually, sometimes they get so extreme with it, they end up isolating themselves because that bile that you're pushing, sometimes people say, well, I have a justifiable reason to be. But that's something that has to be dealt with within your own context and the context of the individual. Now, within a public space or within a communal space now, when you take that bile into it, right, you can spread something toxic that you might take that vibe between you have with one person, you might extend to 5 or 6 other person. Then they didn't have an experience with you that might justify that. But that hatred, that bile is transferred to them just because they're seeing that moment of your negativity is affecting them. You have a reason, you think, but what is your reason for affecting them with the bile? And so therefore, the unforgiving spirit, Brother Ramon, that's it. The unforgiving spirit, it's dangerous because that's more toxic than the supposed person that you're spewing that hate bile for.
Unforgiveness would prevent you from entering eternity.
Trust me.
You cannot have hate in your heart and enter eternity. Me used to hate somebody so much, if they mention the person name, This girl who broke my heart in high school.
Oh my God.
And all of my brethren them know, say, if you call this girl name in my presence.
Oh my God.
Because me don't want that pop up in my mind.
Yeah, come on.
Me don't want to think about her.
Yes.
You see me?
Yes.
Just love that because she hurt me so much. You see me?
Not a vibe, man.
And when me grow up and turn big, realize that, John, so I still have that unforgiveness in my heart and hatred for that person.
Wow.
If I see them, then call their name, and not even share, but if a name similar, a hatred come to me, and I have to sort this out.
Yeah, that's deep, for real.
And I have to inner myself, so I forgive the person, You see me? And then I call the person and say, I forgive you, We know say how many years and I know you probably forget, but me never forget and it hurt me. I mean, also make you know say it hurt me and they never forgive you and forgive you now.
Yeah. And I'm freedom.
And I'm ask for forgiveness also. I say, please forgive me as well.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Takes two
and cleanse everything there, so. You see, after that call, it's like my energy just lift up. Me just like me feel light.
Yeah.
I say this, the unforgiveness I hold me down so much.
Trust me.
It's like a heaviness upon you.
This happened a lot, more than people are willing to admit. This happened to me this year. Because, me and my ex had a lot of baggage from before. And this year, we just had the deepest, most passionate conversation we had in 2 years. And in a very great sense, like you said, there's a lot of things that, to this day, stuff that I don't trust with women, is because of the experience I've had with her.
Yeah.
Like, the way in which women approach me and speak to me in sometimes very nice, respectful manner, I don't trust those women because of her. And I had to recognize it this year that I was having a hard time dating because that was a problem. When women started telling me, I respect you, I think you're special, I'm like, listen, if you want me to continue, let's go back to talking about quantum mechanics, the entangled particles, and how God is all in that. Don't go on this affection. We're communicating good already. Because the last person, I didn't say that, the last person, but I know in my mind, I'm thinking in my heart, the last person that did this to me wound me up so bad, I felt like throwing myself off of a 10,000-story building. That's how far I felt like throwing myself. Yeah, so like what you said, just touch a part to me. That's why I laughed like that, because literally, when we started talking about stuff when the losses we had as a couple and within our relationship and all of that, the miscarriages and such, and all the stuff that, the negative that came up and all the bad stuff, just speaking it through and letting it go and allowing that loving energy to come back in was what made me could be able to even talk to some girls and even hear them say something nice, and I was like, okay, I'm watching you, but I'm not going to blow off on the angle, and I'm not going to shut you down completely. So listen, unforgiveness, like I said, he says, I say, and we can see, it's one of the most unhealthiest ways to live, though we might feel we have reasons. And just like you, I had to also not just say, I forgive you, but I also have to ask for forgiveness for myself too, because it always takes two. And so, even if one thought they were right at first, at some point, that right also becomes wrong when it goes over. And so, love is a whole lot of coming out of a fearful, judgmental, crippling state, feeble state, to a more subtle, but yet confident, courageous, and, a brave, determined state. That you could be a tiny little kid. Once that kid's got love, they're going to shoot off one stuff at the mouth and just run come and hug you in the next moment. You're just nullifying whatever that was. When you can just let it be like that you can just slip out of whatever distracted you and just return to it, then we can see what it is,
Father, forgive them.
Yes,
they know not what they do.
I would further go on to say, Father, forgive us for our misunderstandings and our misgivings over this time as human beings as well, for our steps out of alignment with thy purpose and the faith, and also for all of those experiences that we had in our early stage. We didn't understand a lot of things, and a lot of things about, how we communicate with others. Because sometimes we're a little harsh. I can be a little harsh. So, to ask for forgiveness for that is always good, because I can be a lot harsh. If your reasoning errs me, it can be. And so I need to sometimes check that temperamental issue there, for real. And I give God thanks for not judging me down for that feeling. So I can also not judge others down for their feelings as well.
Yeah, man.
Towards the greatest encouragement, full encouragement, empowerment of love, loving thoughts, loving activities, loving outcomes. Your faith through Christ Jesus, through the presence of love, has become manifest as the experience, the vibe, the life, and all that comes along with it. It is love that indeed gave us this gift. So the best way to experience it and express it is lovingly. So until next time, this has been Jerome Butler, Brother Ramon Singh, just reminding you on the deep, true essence of love.
Blessings.
So until next time, this has been Reasons Right to Share Life. One perfect love, brother.
Perfect love.
And one perfect love to you as well. Until next time, listen.